heard you crack open the blue light.
Yo, come on in. You guys are here too?
Goodbye, empty couch. Hello, standing room only. Labatt takes everything to the power of we.
Happy holidays and happy December, Bobcat fans. This is Bobcat Tracks presented by Labatt Blue. My name is Sam Hyman. So pumped to have you with us. If you're new to the show, we are highlighting student athletes both on and off the field. We've got a video version on YouTube, Ohio Bobcat Studios. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we're also on Spotify and Apple Music. Our guests today, we've got two guests, one from the football team, another from the football team. It's a big week for Ohio football, and our first guest is Marcel Walker-Burgess.
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
What's happening? How we doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Can't complain. Just trying to make sure we finish the season out and just, let's make it happen. Let's make history happen.
MAC championship, Detroit. Ohio football hasn't won a MAC championship since 1968, and you all have the opportunity to take home the hardware this weekend. When you hear about that, what goes through your mind?
It's a lot that goes through my mind to, be a part of a team like this, a culture like this, to be a part of a team that could make, we could start our new history, a new strand of history. So it's amazing, because my thing is fate could, it could have turned out a completely different way for me. So to be, have the ability to be here, have the coaches to have, faith in me to contribute and help the team be where we are today, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool, and you get the rematch against the arch rival, Miami, the Red Hawks, Battle of the Bricks. I mean, that's got to be what you want, right? Against your rival.
You can't write it no better. It's not too often you get to play a team twice, but it's not too often you get to play your rival twice in the season. So, and now the stakes are way higher. So, the biggest thing, especially coming here, to see the amount of the rivalry, how big it is here, I love it. So now it makes you play a little harder. Don't get me wrong, it's a normal game, it's a regular game like any other game during the season, but it adds a little bit more to it and a little bit more swagger to the the game, to bragging rights at the end of the day once you're able to pull it off. So it's amazing to to have a championship game of this type of caliber, to make this type of more so publicity, and it makes the game a little bit more interesting because of the rivalry and the history we have between the two institutions.
Yeah.
So
no, it's really cool, and it's on Saturday at noon. Everybody's gonna check it out, and we're super excited. This team, Marcel, you're new to this team. This is your first season, your first and only season with the Bobcats. We'll get into that a little bit, but I'm curious from your perspective, what's one word that you would say describes this team right now?
One word. Let me see, because it's a lot, especially I'll have to say the staff does an amazing job keeping us motivated and just trying to use each week. Coach Albin try to focus on one word, one thing to try to focus on. So I think I'm trying to remember the word. I know his word was Coach Shu's word was synergy.
Okay.
So, basically the biggest thing, I'm kind of rambling right now, but more so on the fact of just bringing the juice. So I think the big word that I like to focus on, or at least that's sticking with me the most, is just juice.
Yeah.
So especially, just coming out with our own juice and just, being for one another. So being, super excited when you have your offense go on, you have defense cheering, and you have special teams cheering on. So I think just this us bringing the juice and just coming together and just us being a juice factory is it's amazing.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I remember Coach Albin mentioned in his post-game press conference, I think it was last game or the game before, about bringing the juice and how Brian Smith talked about that, at Kent State school night. You guys had to bring your own energy.
Yes.
So that hits hard. I love that.
It definitely does, and it's pretty clever. I like it. So now we have shirts made and everything like that. So it's definitely catchy. And, I definitely appreciate the energy that the sideline brings, because at the end of the day, it's no better feeling than having your brother cheer for you after you make a third down stop, or you get that big bomb that's thrown from Parker, wherever the case may be. So it's a good feeling.
Yeah, I'm going to read off a couple numbers from the defense here. You're a defensive lineman, and it's pretty impressive. 17th best scoring defense in the country, allowing just 18.7 points per game. First in the MAC in run defense, holding opponents below 100 yards per game on the ground. When you think about what the defensive unit was like during fall camp and now where it is, what's the biggest difference with the group?
We're playing for each other. For me, it was kind of hard, and more so in the fact of being a new guy and trying to understand, make sure I got the plays, not necessarily just stepping on toes, but just trying to figure out what my role was inside the defense. So after figuring out my role and just figuring out how I can contribute to help the team, get to where we want to be or get to where we're at as a whole, it was, that at that point it was just coming together and just bonding and becoming one. So, of course, throughout the season we had our adversity, we had our trials and tribulations, but through Christ and through God, we was able to come together, and we're only as strong as we are together. So. Once we went through what we had to go through, it's kind of hard to stop us as a defense, when we're all doing our job. I mean, everybody's doing their 111th.
Blooper. The lights just went off.
Nice. And the sensor's all the way over there.
We're keeping it rolling.
Let's go. Let's see trials and tribulations, a little adversity.
Trials and tribulations. If you're listening to the audio version, the lights just went out. But we got stage lights as backup. We love to see it.
Little effect, we love it,
So, you mentioned adversity throughout the season, specifically with the defensive unit. What's an example of that, and whether it was a game, practice, and how you all overcame that?
I think the biggest thing, I could spin it off on two different things. More so, when you look at football as a whole, you have a bunch of alphas, a bunch of egos that that's coming together for one big purpose. So it's like it's kind of hard at points in times, or you lose track of the big picture, the big reason why everybody's here. So once you're able to put everybody's differences aside, or wherever the case may be, or you have one person that's that's being rebellious towards the group, or to more so group everybody to going into the same direction. Once you're able to get like everybody on one accord, that's half of the battle. So like I said, not getting really specific, but just, it may be a little bit of communication from one standpoint, or it may be, not getting to play here, or, or you're doing your job, or why you're not doing your job. It's little things, we look back at it as, sometimes as a whole or as a defense, we could make something that's so little into making it so big. Because my thing is, you look at football as a whole, football is not a difficult thing,
Right.
As long as you're doing your job and you're doing your part, everybody, it's a joint thing. So everybody has to do their job to make the big picture beautiful than what it is. So
yeah. Wow. Team bonding is everything, both on and off the field. Is there something that to get to the point you are right now as a defensive unit and just as a team in general, from a team bonding standpoint off the field, anything that you can pinpoint that helped this team be what it is right now on the field?
I will mention something that I appreciated coming here was the team bonding we did when we went out to we had like a little boat day where everybody was on the water, just enjoying each other's time. But more so in the season aspect, I think just not giving up on each other, trying to motivate and just trying to, it's easy to kick somebody when they're down, or it's easy to kick somebody, when it's not going their way. So I remember one point in time, it's just being a sponge. I think Coach Albin was, he was more so speaking of, you have somebody with their glass that's empty or it's not full, be the sponge and, bring them back up. Because like I said, you never know when, what somebody may be going through outside of football, We are already under a lot of, stress when it comes to mentally, physically, emotionally. So it's like, you never know, just coming together, being like bonding, being there for your brother. Like, what can I do to help you? Or maybe, something with their personal life could be affecting their play when it comes to, doing what they need to do when it's football time. Yeah. So just being there for your brother, knowing that you have somebody that's willing and that's caring, that's willing to help you, I think that goes a long way to the, more so in the fact of showing how much you really care about your teammate. Once you figure out that you have somebody that cares for you, you're willing to play a little bit extra harder. You really need, you're willing to run through a wall for your teammate next to you.
Yeah. And when the lights turn on, just like they did right now, it's game time.
Exactly. You see, you can't script that right there. That's perfect. You can't script it.
All right, you specifically with your game this season, I'll read a couple numbers here for our audience. You are second on the team in sacks, first in QB hurries, fourth in total tackles. You got an interception as well. How would you describe what you've done on the field in 2024 with the Bobcats?
Before I even go into that, I can't do any of that without my teammates. You know, it's easy to be selfish, but like, yeah, that's me, that's all me. Like, you know, that's my God-given ability. But you know, I'm only one person. You know, it's 10 other people that's out there that's doing their job. That's, you know, that allows me to get those type of stats. You know, being first in quarterback hurries, wherever the case may be. You know, if I don't got Bradley Weaver, if I don't got Ben McNabb, if I don't got CJ Doggett, you know, Cam Rice, Braylon. Yeah, if I don't have these guys, or if I don't have my safeties back, you know, back doing their job and the secondary doing their job, I can't do that. You know, so it's a lot of it. You know, it's easy to be selfish and be like, yeah, that's me. Like I'm that guy. But you know, in a sense, I may be, but my teammates make it a little bit easier. It makes it easier. They make my job easier. You know, they make my target a little bit easier. You know, to be able to be hit.
Yeah.
So.
I love that. That's awesome. Shout out to the teammates. Shout out to the teammates.
My guys.
So, you know, your ability on the field, though, like when you think about yourself as a defensive lineman, and again, we'll talk about your journey a little bit here in just a second before Ohio, but like this season on the field, like what's been the key for you to get those hurries, to get the sacks, the tackles? Like, is there something different about your game this season compared to years past?
100%. I have to say, I have to give thanks to Coach Maddox and Coach Hauser, you know, and of course the staff as a whole, because, you know, they have faith in me. Having faith in me, you know, them having faith in me doing my job, you know, it's amazing. And just more so just seeing, or more so Coach Hauser seeing my ability and just using it to, you know, to benefit the team. So, you know, putting me in certain, you know, situations, predicaments, you know, that starts with the coaches, because, you know, without them, I can't be on the field. So it's, you know, it's a lot of the appreciation comes from them, you know, regardless of the amount of, you know, plays or, you know, times I get to be on the field. You know, my biggest thing is making the most out of my opportunities. Yeah. So it's easy to bicker and complain when you're, you know, not always being out there, but I know when it's third down and I got NASCAR going out, or we got NASCAR going, you know, getting called, I'm out there trying to wreak havoc and trying to make sure we get that third down stop. So, and that's all kudos to, you know, Coach Maddox and Coach Scott and Coach Hauser, because they know the type of player and they know my ability to make sure I make something happen.
Yeah. Do you have an example of them like having faith in you, like maybe something that they said where you're like, dang, like they really believe in me, like I can really take a chance on this play and go make a play? For
sure. I know we have without getting into details, but we have a package to where it's like I'm almost free roaming, so it's like I don't have rules. So at that point, I'm just, you know, see ball, get ball, you know, just play around. So it's like that right there. I really felt as though. That showed me an example that they have faith in me and they have faith in my ability, you know, more so my IQ, to just let me go out there and just let me be free. Because my biggest thing is, you know, as a football player, it's 1,000,001 things, you know, that goes on a football field that, you know, the normal fan may not see or may not know that's going on. And, you know, to be out there and just to be free-minded and just be open-minded to go out there and just play, you know, you can't ask for no better feeling, especially as a player, because, you know, you have a team, you have a quarterback that's checking plays, or, you know, you have to look at an offensive tackle, you know, stance or his foot, like little stuff that, you know, that you're constantly thinking about, you know, down the distance, wherever the case may be. But to get back into your question, it's just being free and just them allowing me to just play my game. So that right there showed me a lot, the amount of confidence and, you know, that they had within me. So, you know, I'm just trying to make sure I keep it going and just, you know, keep being productive.
It's very interesting. Like, you know, your instincts like that. They trust your instincts and what you do out there. Is have you always had that on other teams, like where, you know, you are confident in your ability to on the fly make a split second decision go a certain way and make a play?
I would say I always had it within me, but I would say Coach Maddox pulled it out of me a little bit more. So just having the confidence, because being at other my other schools, I had a big thing of second guessing myself and just not being comfortable, always overthinking things.
I do that a lot.
Exactly. I want to definitely shout out to one of my previous coach, Joe Bolden. Like, it'd be points and times where I'd be in the play and he'd just be like, just look at yourself. He was like, you're just overthinking, just relax and just play the game. He was like, you got the God-given ability to do what you're doing. You overthinking it, you worrying about missing a tackle. You're gonna miss a tackle. Just go out there and just play free and just make it happen, and everything's gonna fall. It's gonna fall how it's supposed to. So, but definitely, it's been times on the sideline where I'm talking with Coach Maddox up in the booth, and he's just telling me to calm down and just play my game and just let it, just let everything fall how it's supposed to. Just let your abilities take you where you need to do. So.
Yeah. Wow, that's so mid-game, he's up in the booth, Coach Maddox, and he'll talk to you, and you're able to sort of block everything out, the fact that a game's going on, and really listen and apply what he's saying in that moment in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely, like I said, I give a lot of credit to Coach Maddox, even though he could be a pain in the butt at points of times, but he definitely he holds a special place in my heart, especially because without him I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So, especially when it comes to just more so when we played against Kentucky, it's just that was a big moment for at least for me, because it's you growing up, you seeing teams playing the SEC, you almost hold them to a standard, these are the guys, these are the people, wherever the case may be, that's in this conference. But his thing was, especially talking, when we were playing, and I was on the sideline, his thing was you're on the field with him, just play your game, just calm down. So it's without him, he definitely, takes the load off my shoulders at points in time when I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Or I'm just, like I said, not confident, but just nervous.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, that's really interesting, and I'm wondering now, with the confidence element and the overthinking things, is that in other areas of your life, and do you use football as something that helps you push through? You clearly have been able to overcome it on the football field. So do you take that mentality and you remind yourself in other areas of your life, you can also overcome that?
It's funny, just it's especially just me being the person that I am, just overlooking my life. I haven't had the picture, the perfect picture type of life, and it's easy to talk about my life was hard and all this other stuff, but I'm grateful for my village that was behind me, because it was hard. Not too many people could honestly say they could put my shoes on and go through life as if what I did, and I have, like I said, I have my support staff to thank, the people that's behind me to thank for that, because it was rough. It was rough a little bit, but of course, with my people and just Christ and everything like that, I was able to push through, and I'm here where I am today. So I definitely use the lessons that I use from football. It definitely reflects, and it pretty much goes hand in hand for me, because it's a lesson in everything you do in life.
Yeah.
So
wow,
it's the lessons that I've learned, from being on time, being a good character person, working together, it's so much stuff that you can learn from this game to not use it and apply it into your normal day life.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Powerful stuff there. Well, you mentioned the journey a little bit and the path. We'll now switch over here to your football journey from the very beginning. You're from Piscataway. I said that right? Piscataway, New Jersey.
Yep,
Piscataway, New Jersey. So what was life like growing up there in Piscataway? What was sort of the vibe?
Life growing up in Piscataway was night and day compared to where I actually was born. So I was originally born in Paterson, New Jersey. So it's more so an urban area. It's rough. Excuse me. It was a rough area. And I feel as though being from being born and raised in Paterson, and also moving, I want to say it was about like fourth grade, had like the half year mark of fourth grade. It molded me and shaped me from who I am, because I kind of laugh because it's almost like a movie. It's like you get the street smarts and you get the book smarts. So it's like being from Patterson, being around, what I was around, without getting into details, it's just more so it was a rough upbringing, you know, and a lot of, in this, a situation like that could either make or break people. A funny story about that is actually when I was in I want to say probably the second or fourth grade, somewhere around there, I actually made the decision that I couldn't stay and live in Patterson no more.
Wow.
So, and this is coming from a kid, like, I'm walking to school by myself, and I'm walking like, Patterson is not an area to where you can just be moving freely and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's a rough area. But, this is, I had to grow up at a young age. I had to grow up fast at a young age.
Wow.
So, that's why I said it definitely shaped me. But more so moving to Piscataway side and that whole chapter, it was amazing, because, I needed the stability, from my grandparents. So I really feel as though, like, they did an amazing job with me as far as just making me the man who I am, as far as just my values and my morals. I can't, I give all thanks to them, because they could have, they raised their children, they raised their children, and these could have been years that they could have been spending enjoying each other's time, going on vacations or doing whatever they wanted to do. So without them, I don't know how my life would have turned out, because, at that point I could have easily let the streets, take me in, and just, I could have threw my whole life away.
But I mean, you made, like, I think you said this a little bit earlier, like, you made the decision, you kind of came to the conclusion on your own, like, I've got to move.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
after walking to school, I think you said it.
Yeah, it was because, like, my biggest thing was, I don't know what happened, but, just a little bit more background was, like, when I was in Patterson, like, I was nothing compared to what I am now, or when I was in Piscataway. It took a lot of years to, of more maturing more, because, I was failing school. It was to the point where, my teachers and other school staff thought I was, I needed to be placed in, like, special needs classes and stuff like that. So it's like, I felt as though at a young age, like, being in Patterson was almost like being in, like, it's just a crab in a barrel. You just, it's no way to, it's, of course it's possible to succeed and everything like that, but I felt like it was always going to be people that's trying to pull you down. It's not just going to be people there that want to see you succeed. Yeah. So it's like, being able to move to Piscataway was, like, I felt it was my way out.
Wow.
So it was, having the resources that I had in Piscataway, I didn't have in Patterson as far as on an academic level. So it's like, once I was able to, make the transition, and just, like I said, be in a more stable household, it was, that pretty much started the journey as far as, like, academics, sports, because throughout my whole life, actually, it's funny, I actually was a basketball player. I wasn't the best, basketball player, but, I definitely was a hard playing basketball player. But, I started my football career in 8th grade year. And after that, that's been the take. So I think my junior year, I could just more so about that, just more so on academic. It took really my junior year of high school to click for me, to at least on an academic level, as far as, taking school serious.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that. And you mentioned your grandparents too, like, when you moved to Piscataway, is that who you were living with? And tell us a little bit about your grandparents and the impact they had on you.
The impact is astronomical, honestly. It's just, my grandparents, Rosa Burgess and Eugene Burgess, they're my heart. Anybody that knows me, they know that I don't play about my grandparents. So it's as far as when it comes to them, like I said, they're my everything. So, because, like I said, without them, I don't know how my life would have turned out. So I give thanks. I literally I owe my life to my fullest though, because like I said, I don't know how everything would have turned out. It's just more so and just the fact of, and you know, my grandfather that, you know, that is no longer with us, you know, he definitely was a big part of the journey as well. You know, it was the big, for me, it was like that was my big three right there, my two grandparents and, you know, my grandmother. Like that was, those were my rocks that kept me sane throughout, you know, no matter what was going on. If I ever needed anything, those were the first three that would make sure that I didn't need for anything.
Wow. And I read on Ohio Athletics website, Ashley Beach, shout out to Ashley Beach. She did a little piece on you.
Yeah.
And it said that your grandparents, the ones that you're describing, are not your biological
Yeah, they're not my
grandparents, the ones that you're referring to?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you go into a little bit of detail on that?
All right. So yeah, they're not my biological grandparents. So pretty much when I was a baby, their son was dating my mom, and it's funny. I like telling this story. So like at the time, I think my mom was pregnant, or whatever the case may be, when their son and my mom was talking, and of course, you know, I'm born, and their son used to bring me around. You know, my grandmother, she would not hold me. She would not hold me as much, and like I pretty much at that point I had my grandfather wrapped around my finger. So it's like, and it was always funny because when I was a baby, I had like big eyes. So my grandmother used to always say like, "Don't hold that big eye, baby." You know, it's just so it's funny to think about now, especially how me and my grandmother relationship is. It's like, you know, like I said before, I don't play about my grandparents. So it's like just to see how things turn, and it's like nobody can never say that I'm not their grandchild.
Yeah.
You know, it's that right there is the fine example that, you know, blood don't make you related.
Yeah.
So in this, you know, it goes without saying because of everything that they have done for me. You know, either if it's physically or if it's just, you know, emotionally.
Wow.
So,
Is there one thing that really resonates that they have done for you that has made you the person that you are today, or the football player?
I think it's just more so just like the life lessons that they've taught me, you know, especially my grandmother, just showing me how to be an independent man by myself and not having to depend on a woman for anything, as far as cleaning up after myself, cooking for myself, you know, just the core things to make make you a not necessarily a manly man, but just more so an independent man, so where you don't have to depend on nobody. And I think more so like my grandfather, he more so made it to the fact of showing me the right way how to be a man, as far as,
Nice.
you know, standing by your word, you know, like, you know, not telling somebody you're going to do something and then you don't do it. So it's like, you know, just holding me, you know, showing me how it is to be a man. If you're going to do something, you're going to do it to your best ability.
Yeah.
You know, just as far as like showing me how to change a tire, like I said, now he showed me how to be a man.
Nice.
You know? And I had the best example how to be a man through him, because he raised 3 sons, and, you know, and he did what he needed to do as a father.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. I seen him be a great father to my uncles. So
That's awesome. That's really cool, man. Anybody in your family play football, or are you the only one?
I have extended family, you know, as far as like, you know, they're not blood, but, you know, they made such an impact on me and my family, or in my life more so.
Yeah.
That I consider them as family. So it's like, you know, growing when I got to high school, he was more so like a mentor for me, but his name was Anthony Davis, and he was a big part of my journey as
Gotcha.
far as
Not the Lakers, AD.
No. He played at Rutgers University. He was I forgot what his draft class was, but he got drafted first round. He ended up going to like the 49ers.
Okay.
He was with Colin Kaepernick and everything.
Wow.
But he definitely was a big help as far as, you know, supporting me and making sure that, you know, he can help out any way that he could.
Yeah.
As far as like just drills and like, you know, just making sure that, you know, being there to help, but, you know, without even getting, you know, I'm trying to think. There's, you know, I don't think I have immediate family that are like that's in the NFL or anything
Okay.
like that, but like, it's funny, like I come from an athletic family. Like I have
Yeah.
family that's like professional, like soccer players and stuff like
Nice.
that. Like, yeah.
Okay.
So like I got my one cousin is Derek Etienne. Like he plays for some team I think in Toronto or something
Wow.
like that. So it's a family full of musicians, you know, athletes and you know photographers and everything like
Heck
that.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So high school, college, like here at Ohio, we mentioned it earlier. Like this is your only season at Ohio. You're done with college football after
Yeah.
this. So you graduated high school, right, and then went to Southern Connecticut State, and then Nevada. We don't
Yeah,
need
Nevada,
we don't need to
yeah.
get into the debate on how to pronounce it one way.
Yeah.
But yeah. So when you think about that journey, what do you remember most about it? Like from coming out of high school as a football player, and then Southern Connecticut State, and then to Nevada. Like, what do you remember most about that whole journey?
I think the biggest thing for me is remembering is just knowing that I had the ability. I knew I can, you know, I had the ability to play at a bigger school, not more so. Or I guess the better way to phrase it, I always wanted more. So I never got complacent. I never just settled. So it's like I knew I was always capable of doing something more or being bigger than what I was at the point in time. As far as like being at Connecticut, I know being there, I know it wasn't a forever home for me, you know, so that just pushed me and motivated me to be like, you know, at the end of the day, I just got to keep going. As long as I keep going and I don't lose sight of the big picture, I'm going to get where I need to be, you know, as far as, you know, emotionally or just being, you know, doing what I need to do like football-wise. So, you know, the biggest thing, of course, is, you know, football that's not forever, but, you know, at least getting my degree and everything like that, so...
Yeah. So like coming out of high school, do you feel like you were overlooked, or you were just like a late bloomer and blossomed into this big time defensive lineman?
I wouldn't say that I was overlooked. I definitely feel as though I could have got more exposure, but you know, it's easy to point fingers, but you know, I personally reflect on my story, you know.
Yeah.
What could have my apologies.
No, you're good. What could you have done better?
Yes,
maybe.
what could I have done better?
I ask myself
So-
that all the time. Like the journey is like your journey is one of one.
Exactly.
And so you can't turn back time, and everything that happened in your journey makes you who you are today.
Exactly. So to speak on that, it's just like what could I have done better as far as like, you know, as a school approach, you know, like I kind of, we spoke about it a little earlier, you know, throughout high school, I really wasn't like taking school serious. So, you know, my freshman and sophomore year, you know, like I said, I wasn't a terrible student. Now I more so was like, you know, an A here, a B there, but I was a C average student. But, you know, for any other athletes that was, you know, that's doing that knows that whole journey or that process, you know, when you're a student athlete, you don't have much leeway when you're a C average student. So, you know, I kind of look at myself and I feel as though I kind of let myself down, or I made my story a little bit harder than what it needed to be if I just would have took school serious, because I was getting the exposure. You know, I was getting recruited by Big Ten schools and, you know, and other different levels of, you know, different conferences and everything like that. So it's like, I feel as though it felt on my shoulders, you know. I should have taken school more serious, you know. And I think that you know, later on motivated me when I got into college, you know, in taking school serious, you know, like I kind of reflecting it, you know, it's a proud moment for me, but it's like, you know, being in school, you know, ever since I got into college, you know, I've always been on the honor roll, I've always been on AB honor roll. So it's like, you know, now
That's awesome.
I finished college, you know, I finished my undergrad being a top 25 or top 20 in my class, wherever the case may be. So, or top 20% or whatever it was, statistics. But you know, or being inducted into the honor society. So it's like, you know, I feel as though that was a learned lesson for me to, like, you know, don't pretty much take advantage of all the opportunities you have in front of you. So,
Yeah.
But
what has we'll wrap up here in just a second with some quick hitter questions. But what has your journey at Ohio done for you? Like your decision to come here, and then as you reflect now, it's season's not over, still work to do, but like what has your time at Ohio done for you?
Just the I have to say the bonds, you know, just taking a step from football, just the relationship that I created as far as from the players on the team, that because, like I said, without them, I can't do anything when it comes to the field. So, but I guess more so on a football perspective, just showing me that all along I had the ability to be something better than what I was. And this is funny because this last game, I had beat all my numbers last season. So, and it's funny because I was speaking with my uncle earlier in the week, and he was like, I'm not sure if you really are aware of your stats, your numbers. He was like, but you're about to like break your season total tackles and like your sack numbers from last season. So like being here and just seeing like from the coaches, just them pulling it out of you and just like I said, fine tuning what you need to fix, whatever the case may be. It's just they really helped me have the confidence to go out there and just play the game that I needed to play.
Yeah.
And just just capitalize on the moments that I needed to capitalize on.
Love that. All right, we'll wrap up here with some quick hitters. You ready? Ready to rock and roll?
Let's go.
We might go off on a tangent here with this one, but outside of football, what are you doing? What are you doing outside of football?
I ain't gonna lie. Outside of just football, it's funny because I know where you're going at, but I don't do much. I'm literally in my apartment, probably sleep, probably on the game, or probably on Premiere or something like that.
Yeah.
So I definitely, that's a hobby of mine, is just just being creative.
Yeah.
Because it's nothing like, we spoke about it a little earlier. It's nothing like creating something, but, once the finished product is done, you'll be like, yeah, you know what, I did that.
Yeah, creating video.
Exactly.
Creating video content.
Yeah, creating video. So it's funny because, like I said, we laughed about it earlier. It's kind of hard to record yourself and play the game of football. So, to be able to have that, that footage and, to start from just one clip or just a sound or the case may be and just put it all together. It's no better feeling.
Yeah.
I feel so proud, of myself once I create something or whatever the case may be. And it may to somebody that always does it, that's their something they do all the time.
Yeah.
For me, it could be something little, but I'm like, what, I did that.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny. I'd be kind of happy about it, be stoked. So it'd be cool.
Yeah, you can get lost in Adobe Premiere. You can absolutely.
Telling me, it feel like I'm learning how to walk again. Especially going through that software. So I gotta find my feet. I gotta crawl a little bit before I so I can remember where things are and stuff like that. Definitely Google's my best friend a little bit.
Yeah.
As far as when it comes to certain things, but I gotta tap back into it for sure.
Yeah, love that. All right, this one's super random, but would you rather fly or talk to animals?
Would I rather fly or talk to animals? Fly or talk to, I'll say talk to animals maybe.
Okay.
You never know. I don't know. I wasn't expecting that one.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
Being able. Matter of fact, fly though.
Fly.
I think. Matter of fact, I'm gonna change my answer. I'll say fly, man.
Okay.
These flights nowadays be kind of expensive. So if I could just fly and get to where I need to get, it'd be real convenient for me.
All right. Do you have a hidden talent?
A hidden talent.
Or something somebody doesn't know about you?
I have a few hidden like hobbies that I do.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I have talents and stuff like that, but I like to talk about my hobbies. But like a lot of people look at me, they don't know. Like I love dirt bikes, I love hunting, I love just being outdoors. I like hiking, snowboarding, snowmobiling, and stuff like that. Anything outdoors, like I love.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure I definitely have talents, but
You're talented in all those hobbies.
Yeah, I would like to say it's always room for improvement for sure. I can't be cocky enough, but like, yeah, I do that. That's that's me. But it's always room for improvement. But I can't tell them all my my secret talents and stuff.
That's fair. That's fair.
They may try to use it against me.
How many messages on your phone or how many text messages on your phone are unread? Let me rephrase that. How many unread text messages are on your phone right now?
Oh, you wouldn't believe me. I think I'm well over 1,000.
What?
Yeah, I'm at 2,009. Yeah, 2,092.
2,092 unread text messages.
Yeah, you don't want to know the emails. I'm almost pushing 40,000.
I'm at 20,000 emails, but unread text, I think I'm at like 20 or 30. That's wild.
But it's funny because it gets to the point where it's like, yeah, it's 2,000, but like a lot of it is like, all right, Merry Christmas. Oh, Merry Christmas to you too, or whatever the case may be, or it may be like a group message or something like that, where it's like, all right, like I don't really feel like we had the conversation we needed to kind of like to have, but I don't know.
That's
Maybe
fair.
one of these days I'll just go through and just mark read all, but you know, it's bigger fish to fry than worrying about how many unread messages. As far as as long as I know that the people that need to get in contact with me, we communicating, then hey. The unread messages, they get handled when they need to get handled.
I'm at 18 exactly right now. 18. Song that's on repeat right now?
Oof. I'm a music guy, so song that's on repeat right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I listen to a lot of music.
Okay, well, what's the first song that just came to mind when I brought that up?
The first song. So the first song that came to mind is actually a song that me and my grandfather listened to a lot, and that's the one that's no longer with us. It's funny because like when I used to live in Piscataway, he used to pick me up. And he used to in Piscataway to Patterson. It's about like a 45-minute drive, wherever the case may be. But a song that's like our song is let me make sure because I don't want to tell you the wrong name. They reminisce over you. That's definitely that's something that me and my grandfather, we get in a car and it's like we singing it word for word and everything. So like that's definitely not the most recent, but like that's something that whenever I listen to it, I'll always like I get a memory of me and my grandfather just in the car just listening to that song. So it's fun.
That's cool.
So it's something that that I hold dear and near to my heart, especially when I think about him. It's with him no longer being with us, but. That's definitely a banger for me.
Love that. All right, last one. We are in the holiday season. So, what is the best holiday gift that you've given and received?
Oof, I'm a gift giver. So
okay,
especially for somebody that like the ones that I truly love, wherever the case may be. Like I'm a gift giver. You said a gift that I've gave?
Yeah, you can either answer the question with a gift that you've received or a gift that you've given in terms of the best one.
Man. I think it spirals from from something that's sentimental to something that's just money wise, but I know when I was in Europe, I had brought my grandmother a Balenciaga wallet. Ooh. So like that was something, and that's a whole nother tangent. Oh my God, a quick story. When I was in Europe, I had went to France. I had brought a Balenciaga wallet. Me and my cousin, because my cousin was out there playing football. Yeah. So I brought a brand new wallet. I want to say I have like 3 or 4 days left of my vacation before I go back to the States, and I want to say that wallet had to be about like $400, $500.
Wow.
And I had almost close to $1,000 in it because I was trying to change my money over. And I ended up losing that wallet. I lost that wallet and, just me, it hurt. And I kind of wanted to stop the vacation right then and there. But I end up, me being crazy. I'm like, hey, I'm in Europe. When is the next time I'm being in Europe? And I can honestly say, yeah, I got this wallet from Europe. So I ended up buying another Balenciaga wallet. And when I brought the first one, I had brought my grandmother a Balenciaga wallet as well. So it was like, I wanted to, they'd be like, yeah, me and my grandmother, we got that Balenciaga swag. So we got something that's matching. So that's definitely one I could say that,
Nice.
And she liked as well. So
love that. Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
All right, well, Marcel, thanks so much for your time. Seriously,
thank you. I appreciate for having me on. It's nice, being able to talk and just have a conversation.
Absolutely, go Bobcats
for sure. Go Bobcats.
Let's go. All right, our next guest on Bobcat Tracks, also from the football team, wide receiver Caleb Gossett. What's up, man? How we doing?
What's up? Good. How are you?
Great, fantastic. Your journey was recently well documented at the Tim Albin show, right?
Yeah.
You started out at Ohio as a walk-on, and now you got a scholarship. I think that deserves another round of applause. No, but seriously, thanks for your time. Thanks for joining the show.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me on.
So, from walk-on to now a scholarship, when you hear that again, like what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Just excited that all the hard work over the years just finally paid off, and just blessed to be a part of this team that gave me the opportunity and allowed me to become have a role on this team. So
Yeah. So when you got to Ohio, did you envision this was possible? Was this the plan, or were you just focused on football from walk on to scholarship?
yeah, it was always. I mean, the first time I talked to Coach Alvin, he said, "If you get on the field, we'll get a scholarship for you. We'll find a way for you." So that was always in my head, just working as hard as I could to get on the field and just doing what I could to help out the team.
Yeah. I'm going to read a quote that I pulled from Brian Smith on the Tim Albin show from, I think it was a week ago. Brian Smith said, what we're about to tell Caleb, it's not just because of this performance, but it's the mortar that he has and the journey. So for what people didn't see to get to this point, can you share like the journey and how you got to this point from the beginning of Ohio to now?
You want me to take it like all the way from the top?
Just like what's one thing from behind the scenes that like you feel like led you to this point, this moment?
It was probably, just my journey getting here. It was because originally I went to Dayton, University of Dayton, and I ended up transferring after my first semester there. And I think really the point, I was just going to move back home, and I didn't really have like a school to go to at that point. Thought maybe football was over for me. But Coach Metz, the tight end coach, he got in contact with someone that my mom worked with. He was a high school coach in the area. And they connected and got me a roster spot. And that was like 3 days before the semester started. So I just moved out here without really visiting the campus or going on the visits or meeting anyone. I think that experience was really what kind of like pushed me to become, try to be better and push me harder, because I was really just starting from the bottom. So I really had like nothing to lose at that point. So just going as hard as I could every day. That's kind of really like the experience that pushed me, like knowing that it could be over any second. And I'm just blessed to have the opportunity that I had.
Wow. All right, so let's go back to the very beginning here. Caleb, tell everybody where you grew up and how you got into football.
Grew up in Columbus, Ohio, outside. I went to Olentangy High School. Just growing up, I always played football with my brother. We were just always competing together, just throwing the ball, playing in the front yard, tackling each other. We'd always play tackle on the trampoline, just deck each other. But ever since then, it was that and basketball. And honestly, towards middle school, high school, I started kind of focusing on basketball more. But then my sophomore year is really when I started talking to coaches, and I was starting to get lightly recruited. I was like, kind of started focusing on it more, like knowing I could take it somewhere. And then from there, that's kind of really what I focused on, was football from there.
Were you like a shy kid in middle school and high school, or were you pretty confident?
No, anyone who knew me in middle school and high school was kind of like the class clown. But
okay.
Yeah, got to tone that down from there.
Yeah, talking in class.
Yeah.
I did that, so you're good. You're good. So your recruitment process with football, you alluded to it just a second ago with Dayton. Can you go in a little bit more detail? Like, where did you feel like you were as a football player coming out of high school?
I was very raw because I missed my entire sophomore year with injury. So I really just had those 2 years, and I kind of picked it up later because, like I said, didn't focus on it until like sophomore year. So coming out of high school, I knew I was athletic and I knew I could play. I just needed to learn, more fundamentals and kind of just work on the things that make you a great football player. So I feel like, I was kind of a diamond in the rough at that point. I really wasn't, one of the guys that were heavily recruited from the area. So I was just glad that someone took a chance on me and allowed me to keep playing after college or after high school.
What's the reason behind why you ultimately decided to come to OU?
It was really, it was the 3-9 season was when I was coming here. So I just saw the opportunity because every game was like 1-score losses, and this team isn't as bad as everyone thinks. Like there's definitely some good players because I was watching the action during I had my time at Dayton. Like this is a good team. So once I got in contact, I was like, I will do anything to join this team. So
Yeah. So you went to Dayton for how long again?
just a semester, my first semester.
Walking on and making the decision to come to Ohio, were you very confident in that decision early on, or was it like I'm taking a chance?
Yeah, I was confident. I knew I could make it work out, just with hard work and just putting my head down and working every day. But kind of that first practice, I was like, man, I don't know, like, because we would be running routes with the guys and be like, all right, I can do this. But the first practice was really rough for me. But after that, I started to settle in and kind of started making plays. It was that first spring ball is when I got here. And honestly, that might have been some of the best football I've ever played. It was crazy. I don't know whether it was just like my back was against the wall. I had nothing to lose. But I was just playing as hard as I could. And that's kind of how I ended up starting to make a name for myself here.
Yeah. When you mentioned that spring ball is some of your best ball, where was your mindset after that? Was it like, all right, I think that I can ultimately get a scholarship and potentially see a lot of playing time? Was it after that moment during spring ball your freshman year?
Yeah, because after that, I was kind of started to move into the room more because I was making the travel list. So I was traveling with the guys, but I knew I really wasn't playing much. I was kind of just there. Learning from the guys in the room that have been there. And that's kind of where I was at. I was kind of just trying to learn the game more, learn the offense at that point, but I was just glad that I had the opportunity to do so. So I was just taking everything in that I could.
Was it hard not being on the travel list at one point?
Yeah, at Dayton, I didn't travel at all. And that was hard for me because I knew, what I could do and just kind of I was just leaving out there. I feel like I was kind of just wasting my time at that point. I wasn't really being developed. So
Yeah. You mentioned Brian Metz. He was one of the first people that contacted you?
Yeah.
Or the first one?
Yeah, the only.
Yeah, the only.
Yeah.
So what do you remember about your conversation with him?
It was just, he was very, very excited to get me here. He was very helpful for me because, I didn't talk to any of the other coaches because I wasn't really even recruiting. He was kind of just getting me a spot and taking a chance on me.
It only takes one person.
Yeah.
You got here for the 2022 football season. That was your freshman year. And that was the year that Ohio made the MAC tournament or MAC championship for football. And Bobcats are back in it this year.
Sure.
What do you remember about that season? Because I don't think you saw the field, right?
I played garbage minutes. Really.
Okay.
It was my first snap was one snap at Penn State. That was
Yeah.
my first college snap, but it was really I wasn't involved at all, really.
So what do you remember about that season from your vantage point?
First, it was kind of a rough start. We lost a few games. We lost at Kent State, but the biggest one was we were in a tough game with Fordham, FCS school, and that's after we lost a couple already. It was maybe we aren't. Kind of that doubt started creeping in. Maybe this isn't the team that I thought it was. But after that, we pulled out the win there. But after that, we just continued to build on that, and I just saw the team get better and better. And it was really incredible that whole season. It was it really didn't even feel real at that point because that was my first season here. I was just seeing the complete turnaround that we had, and it was crazy just to get to the championship at that point.
Yeah. And then fast forward to 2023, what was the biggest difference for you from 2022 to 2023 as a football player?
It was more just settling in, being more comfortable with the offense. That's what I struggled with early on. It was kind of just a lot going on at once for me. So really just learning the intricacies of the offense and kind of just settling into the system and knowing if I was thrown in, I could execute at any moment.
What was harder, getting a gist of the offense and how it's run? Was it harder learning the offense or harder thinking that can I go out there and actually do it?
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. By last year, I felt pretty confident in my abilities, but when I had the opportunity in practice or sometimes even in games, it was kind of like I was pretty nervous to get to that point, and I think it was just because I was so inexperienced. It was some of the first time like I was playing, so really just this last year, just knowing that like I'm comfortable within the offense, I know what I'm doing, just kind of eliminating the doubts that arose from any time a play was called.
Do you remember vividly your first catch on the field in a game at Ohio?
Yeah, it was this year at Syracuse, and that was just a crazy moment for me because it was kind of just all the hard work finally kind of starting to show and pay off.
Tell me more about that moment. Like, was the play for you, or was
No,
it?
Honestly, I wasn't even like usually I'm not like getting the ball on that play, but I was wide open. I just made eye contact with Parker and kind of showed my hands, and thankfully he was able to hit me. But we were going in a clock situation, so had to hurry up and get up and just throw the ball back, get line back up. Couldn't really take it all in at once, but
Man, that's crazy. That's really cool. You mentioned Parker. What's your relationship like with him?
I spent a lot of time with Parker just because he came in kind of at the same time as me. He came in that summer after I came in. So we kind of grew here together, and we spent a lot of time together on the field and off the field as well.
What has he helped you with the most?
Really just learning the offense, like we talked about, kind of
Yeah.
just knowing when, just the timing of routes. So like if we don't get something in practice, he'll get me after practice. We'll do it again. Just really just learning the game from the quarterback's perspective, seeing like what they're seeing, where they want me to be open, things like that. So
Yeah. Were you always someone that wanted to stay after practice?
yeah.
Yeah.
My first 2 years, I made it like a point that I wanted to be one of the last people at practice. I was just getting extra catches and extra work in, just doing whatever I could just to get that extra advantage.
And that has to be part of the reason why you are going from walk-on to a scholarship player.
Yeah.
Like that has to, like, I'm assuming, that's part of it.
Yeah, it has to be a little bit.
Yeah, man. So when did you find out, like, was it on the Tim Albin show? Was it a total surprise?
Yeah, it was because originally I was just doing the first interview, and then they pulled me back up, and that's when I knew something was kind of up because I was sitting down with Coach Smith. And then when he started talking, that's when I started to kind of figure out what was going on. But
Yeah.
that was a cool surprise. That was a great moment.
So now, like, does it change anything at all other than like the logistics of being a walk-on versus a scholarship? But your mentality as a football player, is there anything that changes, or are you the same person?
Yeah, not really. It was always more about contributing to the team and finding my role and doing whatever I could to help. So kind of at this point, it's kind of just settling into my role and doing what I can, but it doesn't really change anything.
Yeah.
Trying to keep the mentality that I've had in the last few years.
Yeah.
Help me set up later in life as well. So
Wow. So this team, this season, I mean, an unbelievable season so far. You've got 9 wins, and then there's that one game, that MAC championship game. Ohio hasn't won a MAC championship since 1968. I mean, the opportunity's there. And we just talked to Marcel, who wasn't on the team in 2022. You were a part of the team in 2022. The opportunity to do this, Caleb, what's going through your mind as you know that it's in front of you?
it's like couldn't script it any better, playing Miami in the championship, kind of getting revenge. Haven't had it since 1968. So just being prepared for this game. We all kind of knew we were going to get to this point. This is what we've been working for. So it's a great opportunity for us to just go out there and show them who we are and show them that we're the team that can get this done.
What's one word or in just a couple sentences that you would say like best describes this 2024 team?
Probably resilience. We dealt with a lot of injuries, a lot of things going on, but we found a way past that, and we all kind of just bond together and focus on ourselves as a group. This is one of the closest teams that I've ever been a part of. I think that's due to Coach Albin and everyone just bringing each other together having so much time spent together. So we really just all care for each other and really just all work for each other, and that's ultimately who we're playing for.
Yeah, I mean, we were literally talking. I was talking with Marcel about the team bonding aspect of it, where it's not just on the field, it's also off the field. You guys did a little boat trip during the summer. I know, like, the DBs went paintballing, and there's just so much that happens off the field that helps on the field. Can you go in more depth on that? Like, why is it that off the field stuff really helps on the field? Like, can you give me an example as to why?
One of the things that Coach Alvin does is we do 4 H's. So it's you share your hero, a heartbreak, your history, and then your hopes. So you share that with your position group, and then we mix up the entire team and talk about it with other people. And that's really just a chance to learn more about people that you would never know, and you get to be vulnerable with your teammates. And that's really, like, the biggest thing that I think bonds us together, because I'm learning stuff about people that I never would have figured out, and it really just brings us close together.
And does that, when you learn about that stuff, is that stuff that sometimes, like, will randomly pop up in your head, before you take the field or when you're on the field, and is an added sense of motivation?
Yeah, it's like, I know I got to do this for the guy next to me, because he's been through way worse than I've ever been through, and this is their way out. So just really fighting for the guy next to you, that's really adds that extra motivation in.
Man, that is so cool. That is very cool. All right, we're going to get into some quick hitters before we get you out of here. For people that are listening on our audio version, we're on Spotify and Apple. They have no idea that the lights went out during this. For people watching, we've got some bright lights that are shining, and the lights will be shining bright when Ohio takes the field against Miami. But so some quick hitters. We may go off on a tangent a little bit, but when you're not playing football, Caleb, what are you doing?
If the weather's nice, I'm golfing.
Okay.
If it's not, probably I like to read, like to spend time with friends. Got into fishing. Obviously, that's a weather dependent as well, but just hanging out with the guys, that's the best part.
Favorite football moment on the field?
Honestly, probably last week when we secured the MAC championship. Just having the opportunity to go back. It was really, really special for me, because just all the time I spent here and all the hard work I know this team has put in.
Yeah, that's amazing. Would you rather fly or talk to animals?
Talk to animals.
Okay. I
love animals. I have 2 dogs at home.
Okay.
I wish I could just talk to them all day. That would be awesome.
What if they couldn't talk back? Would you still, like they have to, they can hear you, but they can't talk back. That's fine. You'd still rather talk to animals?
If they could understand, like, everything I was saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
You'd still, even if they couldn't talk back to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Do you have a hidden talent?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. I don't think I have one, so you're good.
Nothing, like, unique.
Nothing.
Like,
okay. I don't have one.
Oh, actually, really good cornhole player.
Really?
I don't know if that's a hidden talent, but
well, if people don't know about it, then now they know, and it's how many? This is always a fun one. How many unread text messages do you have on your cell phone?
Yeah, I think I just looked at my phone because I was texting you here.
Yeah.
I think I have like 200 something.
Okay.
Which it's really just me being lazy.
I mean, Marcel has, I think, a couple. Gosh, I wish I remembered it. But
thousands.
yeah,
That's
I think he has a lot.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I believe so.
That's crazy.
I've got 18 unread text messages. But sometimes it's like I'm subscribed to something and I just get the text messages.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm ignoring somebody.
Right.
What's a song that's on repeat right now for you?
Bon Jovi. I forget what the song's called, but it's the oh my God, what is it? It goes, I'm a cowboy.
I'm a steel horse, I ride.
That's been my pregame song. I love it.
Okay, all season?
Yeah, Dead or Alive, that's what it is.
Yes,
Dead or Alive.
There we go. Boom, boom. Lights are on. Let's go. We know. All right. Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
Hopefully, have a beautiful wife, family, starting my family, and starting my career, whatever that may be. But I want to move down south. Kind of want to get out of Ohio at this point. So get some nicer weather.
A little cold.
Yeah, this cold's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's chilly. Well, you're playing in a dome on Saturday.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Thankfully.
All right, so we're in the holiday season. We're in the holiday spirit. Do you have a favorite gift that you've received ever in your life?
My favorite one right now, I got a Whoop.
Oh, yeah.
You got one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
I
we go.
love this thing. It's awesome.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing that you use it for? Is it sleep, stress?
Yeah, mostly sleep, but the recovery is huge as well, and the strain, like, because I track all the practices and get the heart rate zones to see how hard, like, maybe I didn't push myself that hard that day. So keeping that really has me the insights that I need to, like, help my body recover and kind of make better decisions and when I go to sleep, things like that.
Yeah, sleep's so important.
Yeah.
I mean, have you been able to maintain good sleep during the season?
Well, after getting this, it's been like kind of seeing the numbers. It's helped me get into like a routine, and I try to get at least 8 hours every night.
That's really good.
100% sleep performance.
You try to get into the green.
Yeah.
Into the green,
yeah.
not in the red.
Yeah.
We also like green. We don't like red.
Right. Yeah.
here at Ohio. What's the best gift you've ever given someone?
See, I'm a horrible gift giver,
That's okay.
so I don't want to spoil it. but
Okay.
I have a good one for this year.
For someone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's for my dad. Got something special for him planned. So
All right. There we go.
yeah.
Nice. Well, Caleb, really appreciate you coming on. Again, congratulations on the scholarship opportunity here at Ohio. But I know that MAC championship is the big ticket. That's what you want, and that's what this team is going after. So thanks for coming on the podcast, and really appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
All right, that's a wrap for this edition of Bobcat Tracks presented by Labatt Blue. We want to thank Caleb and Marcel for joining the show. It was a great time. We had a lot of fun, talked about a ton, and as always, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for the video version, Ohio Bobcat Studios, and then we're also available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Best of luck to the football team this weekend, and we will talk to you next month. It'll be 2025. Crazy to think about, but go Bobcats, and thanks for watching and listening.
We heard you crack open a blue light. Yo, come on in. You guys are here too?
Goodbye, empty couch. Hello, standing room only. Labatt takes everything to the power of we.